Hello everyone and welcome back to Walkthroughs with NedMel74. This time we are going to be doing the Archdragon Peak, but starting from Dragonkin Mausoleum. First of all, what you want to do is you want to run up to the right staircase and run around straight away, because there's going to be a summoner who's summoning a well, it's either a Drake Blood Knight or it's a Havel. You want to roll or run side to side until those affinity orbs go away. And then what you can do here is you can actually send this lift back down. That just goes back to sort of the start of Archdragon Peak. It is a shortcut, but one that I've never really used. Before we do anything else, let's just deal with the Archdragon, the Drake Blood Knight or the Havel. Turns out it's the Drake Blood Knight, so again, just hold your shield up, make sure you block any physical damage, and then what you want to try and do is get around for the backstab. Now this is a little bit tricky on the Drake Blood Knight, so just try and do it as best you can. If you struggle with that technique, which I am here, what I'll tend to do is I'll wait for him to attack, and then I'll get 2 right bumpers, I'll roll back, wait for him to attack, 2 right bumpers, roll back. And that's pretty much the same technique. You can just follow that over and over, and you won't have too much trouble with him. Over here we have a soul item, and you will get the Drake Blood Greatsword from the Drake Blood Knight. It is actually quite a good greatsword. It's a little bit short in terms of the range, but it is quite a good one. Run out there and then come back. Reason I typically do that, I don't think it's this door, it's one of the other ones. There's 2 dragons waiting for you, so you just got to be ready for that. This is one of the rock titanite. Crystal lizards, rock lizards I think they're called. What you can do with them, alright, let's get set up. Hang on. Get them to come towards you, try and get them out in a nice open space, so wait for them to start attacking, and once you can get them out into that space you can then kick them, and that'll send them off the edge. That's sort of the easiest way. So we've got 2 titanite scales down this path, and then what we're going to do is you can see we've come out the bottom again. You can use the Path of the Dragon down here at the bottom, and that'll allow you to get the Calamity Ring. Not that you're really going to want that, causes you to take double damage, but just for the sake of completeness I thought I'd show that in this video. If you come up the stairs to the left this time, and you just pop out here, that was the area that we just went. If you come to the right hand side, this is where the dragons are going to be, so you got to be really cautious here. So drop out, and then drop back in. Again, make sure you keep that shield up, because they can use that long neck attack, and it is quite annoying. A couple of right bumpers, typically you'll just finish them off. And you can get another scale from that area. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this little bit. That's where the summoner was. So if you go to the other side, you'll see a big gate. Now this gate is where we're going to go after the Nameless King boss fight. But what you can do is you can actually pick up the Dragon Slayer Spear just through the gate, which is kind of a nice touch. I'm not sure if that's a glitch in the game or if that's how they meant it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Roll to the right as that guy tries to attack. Yeah, he'll always come from the left hand side and try and attack you. As we come to these 2 guys, try and get them one at a time. So I'll try and attract one's attention, get them to come towards me, and then I'll deal with the other one. I think the other one might have seen me though. So we're just going to try and do a little kick on the shield. If you can get that kick on the shield, that just makes it a lot easier. Gives you a chance for a riposte. Same with this one. Kick, riposte. Makes it a lot easier than before. Now there's 2 enemies to the left there, but there's no actual items through here. So what I typically do is I'll just avoid that section entirely. You can plunge attack that guy, and then you can just come up the staircase. There's again a big guy to the right there. You can just avoid him completely if you want to, no particular reason that you need to take him on. So what I'll do is I'll climb up the ladder, I'll grab the Thunder Stone Plate Ring, just protects you from just the lightning attacks, and then we can drop down. Now, that big guy will sometimes follow you. So I think I can hear him in the background. I think he might be following me. No, it might be okay. And then there's this crystal lizard here. Just a couple of right bumpers, or I just use right trigger there for a change. 3 Titanites, twinkling Titanites though, so that's one to note. And there's 3 Titanite scales here as well. So that's another one definitely to note. And what we're going to do is we're going to just run up here and jump to the left. Now you can actually get this another way, but I just thought I'd showcase the fact that you can actually jump up and get there. We'll be coming around to this section in a second, so just so you know where we're sort of going, how we're getting there. Now there's going to be a giant dragon, another wyvern that's going to come down. He's a bit smaller than the previous one, and we can actually kill him. So I'm going to showcase a method on how to kill him. Again, you can kick these guys off the edge. If you get them together, you can try and kill them normally, but yeah, they are quite dangerous, so just beware. And if you do kill them, there's chances of getting like scales from them. So they can be quite a good reward, but typically doesn't drop so well. And that's where we got that item before. Now that wyvern's going to come. If you just hang around the left-hand side there, you can be pretty safe. And then once you bait out that fire attack, you can get right up to his neck. And then what I typically will do, now there's multiple ways of doing this. You can try and keep hitting the leg, but I find you deal more damage to the neck or the head. So I'll two-hand my weapon, I'll try and bait the fire breath. So I'll stand in front of him, I'll bait the fire breath, and then I'll go around to where his neck is. If he jumps up and does that fire attack, just run around the corner here and you'll be safe. And then again try and bait that fire breath, that forward fire breath, and that'll give you a chance to get about 2 to 3 hits on his head. You can roll past that neck swipe attack. And again, if he flies up, just come around to this corner, wait for him to come down, and you can get some more hits on. And then there's that fire breath again, so it gives you a good chance to get another. Even 3 hits is probably ideal if you can get it. The reason I recommend two-handing the attack, the weapon, is just because you can get those high attacks on the neck. And then as you see, you can get 6 Titanite chunks, 3 Titanite scales, and 3 twinkling Titanites for beating him. So it is quite a nice reward. Just a little note, once we beat Havel, we'll be dropping down up there. So that's just a little how this whole map connects. Now you can actually completely leave those lizards. You can come up this little path here to the left, and that's sort of your safest method. If you're going to ignore that dragon that I just fought, I would recommend running south to the left just to avoid those rock lizards. As we continue onwards, there's going to be a summoning here, so that is going to summon the oof, forgotten his name for a second. Ricard with his rapier. I typically try and take out the summoner first, but if you can't, just get back and draw the draw Ricard towards you. Now Ricard I don't tend to even try for backstabs on. I will just try and catch him after he's done a little spell of those rapier attacks and just try and finish him as quick as possible, because he does deal quite as you in one of those rapier lunges. So be a little bit wary of that. And then here you can finish off the sorcerer. Before we do anything else, we're not going to ring the bell yet, so just take note, we're not going to be ringing that bell yet. We'll be coming back to that. That's going to alter the weather and basically get us ready for the Nameless King boss fight. We're not quite ready for it just yet. We've still got some things to do in this area, so don't ring that just yet. What we're going to do now that we've lit the bonfire is we can take a shortcut. We'll be coming back to the rest of the map, but this is a nice little shortcut up to where Havel is, so it allows you to get the Titanite slab. That's up here. Oh! Usually you can just kick. Not the best demonstration of that this time, but I think you get the idea. And this has some twinkling Titanites as well. So as you can see, with what I said before about this having lots of twinks and lots of scales, it's definitely true. Alright, so climbing up this ladder, this is where we're going to encounter Havel. Now, be a little bit wary of Havel. He does do a lot of damage. So what you want to do is you want to try and hit his attack. Now, I wouldn't even worry about a shield here. It's just not worth it. He can end up parrying you. Riposting you if he gets a shield break. What I tend to do is I tend to try and roll past his attack and get behind him. Backstabs on him will deal a lot of damage and allow you to get that follow-up of a couple of hits afterwards where you have him staggered. Oh, you gotta be really careful with rolling. I tend to wait for him to attack. I roll through him and try and get behind him. Again, failing that technique, I tend to like that technique on most enemies, but failing that, you can actually get a couple of hits, wait for an attack, get a couple of hits, wait for an attack, get a couple of hits, wait for an attack, and just following that little series. If he does that, he's going to use Iron Flesh, so try and get behind him and get a backstab as soon as you can. Again, he's going to try and use Iron Flesh, so try and get that backstab as soon as you can. So keep following that technique on Havel and you'll get there. What we need to do is we need to come down this direction. You can see there's a little drop off to the left. Now this is the place that I said connect. If you have the Silver Cat ring, you can pop on the Silver Cat ring here. I don't know if I've actually got it. No, because we didn't follow Sirius's quest, so we won't have the Silver Cat ring. Just keep in mind you'll take a bit of damage, so make sure you heal up after that drop. Coming here, get ready to kick. So as soon as you can, kick this guy off the wall. Just makes it easier to grab the Great Magic Barrier spell. Or miracle, should I say. And again, just make sure you heal after all these drops. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up that short path again. So this is back where we were by the rock lizards. And by where the wyvern was. Small wyvern. And now we've only got one part of Archdragon Peak still to do. So for this bit, as long as you followed Hawkwood's quest, his sign should appear here. So you can summon Hawkwood. The reason we summon Hawkwood is to progress this quest further and to get all of the dragon items. You need to actually have summoned him here and kept him alive, taken him to the top of... Actually, I'm not sure if you have to have kept him alive the whole way. I'm pretty sure you have to have summoned him. But you're supposed to take him to the top of this area and get him the stone that he wants. I think it's the Twinkling Dragon Head stone. And what we're going to do is we're going to help him defeat these enemies, get all the way up top and get that. And then he'll desert us after that. As is appropriate to his name. So again, this is where your shield can come in really handy. Just really watch out, because you are trying to protect Hawkwood, so you are trying to deal a bit more damage than normal probably. But you've got to protect yourself at the same time. If you die, there's no point in continuing, so you have to judge whether it's worth really hard protection of Hawkwood or good technique in trying to take on these dragon boys. And there we go. We've lost Hawkwood. That's okay. We're gonna keep going. I'm just going to show you where we will go, because we're going to get the stone as well. Alright, so this is really tricky if it's just you. because you've got Axe and Chain trying to hit you, and you've got this guy trying to hit you. I'm just trying to be as cautious as possible. The reach from Axe and Chain is absolutely ridiculous. As you can see, it's really hard to avoid him. I tend to try and move like as I can to get him to follow me. You actually want him to do that fire breath just so he's not using his Axe and Chain on you. So if you can, try and keep an eye on both of them. I really struggle with this bit. This is one bit that I'm actually not very good at giving you a tutorial on, just because you've got to really try and take them on one by one, and they have so many attacks like this that you just not ready for. And trying to get the timings is all about timing, waiting for one to attack, timing your roll, getting behind the other one, getting an attack in. A lot that you got to think about at once. Okay, we finally got him down, so now Axe and Chain will be a lot easier, because we can actually watch him the whole time. There we go. Ah, well that is quite the feat, trying to beat those guys. It's just so many of them. But yes, if you manage to keep Awkward alive, he'll come up with you up here, and you can get the Twinkling Torso Stone, and I think he'll get the Twinkling Headstone, and then you can go and fight him where you fought the Abyss Watchers. So you need to talk to Andre after that, back at Firelink, and then you'll come across Awkward where we fought the Abyss Watchers. Andre will give you Hawkwood Swordgrass. So you can see now we've got three of those 4 items, and you get the Twinkling Headstone from Hawkwood. He's got a lot of Estus on him though, so make sure you use an Undead Hunter Charm, or else you just make sure that you are punishing him and trying to take him down as quick as possible, because otherwise he'll just keep healing on you. Before we go back to Bonfire or do anything else, we just should go and get the Dragon Chaser's Ashes. Now these are really important. So coming down the left hand side here, you got the Rock Lizard. He can be a real nuisance, especially if there's the enemies near you. So it is actually worth taking out those enemies that we just did, as hard as it is. But the Dragon Chaser's Ashes are 100% worth it, because it allows you to then buy scales and twinks and a lot of the upgrade items that you need for weapons from the handmade. They are fairly expensive in terms of souls, but if you want to upgrade a weapon, it is worth it. So I definitely recommend getting those in each playthrough. Now that area will take you down to where the Nameless King fight will drop you. You see that the gate is closed there, whereas once you do the Nameless King fight, that'll be open. But you can just grab this Ember, and I don't think there's any other items around there. So that's the whole of Archdragon Peak, other than what's past Nameless King. Having said all that, let's go for Nameless King. Now, my question is, have I got the Dragon Slayer's Shield? No. Okay. I'm going to head back to Firelink, just because I think this is very important to demonstrate, because it will make the Nameless King fight, I'm going to say 10 times easier, because I honestly believe that. Dragon Slayer Shield is amazing for this fight. In my boss tutorials, I was doing it without a great shield, just so you could sort of keep the same equipment through the whole game. But I'm not doing that through the walkthrough. I'm trying to give you the best strategies. I'm trying to give you what makes this game as easy as possible. So we're going to get the Dragon Slayer Great Shield. Hopefully we have some of the stats required. Do we have the strength for it? Yes, good. But we're going to be way overweight now. So, do we have Havel's ring? Yes, we do. It's not crazy effective though. Alright, we might just change it for Pontus Right Eye. We'll put on Havel's ring. And we'll then pop on the lightest gear that we've got, which would probably be the Master's attire. Might not even be able to wear all that. Nah, I don't think we're even going to be able to wear all that, so we'll just maybe wear the gloves and that. I don't think we've even got the stats for the headpiece. Oh, we can take off the torch. There we go. Can you put the loincloth on? Probably not. Probably not. No. That's fine. Alright, so what we want to do is we're just going to level up with the souls we've got. I'm going to see if
very well then
I'm going to see if Andre... Oh.
Asha then Ida. Very well then he.
We'll keep upgrading our strength in that. Yeah.
Mayst thou thy peace.
Okay, so we're going to just see if we've got the Hawkwood Swordgrass that... there we go, yep. So Andre is going to give me that, which is good. It means I can just demonstrate that in this walkthrough. So you don't have to get Hawkwood all the way up to that altar. I actually thought you did. As long as you've summoned him there and you've got the Twinkling Torso Stone, you can then go and face Hawkwood at the Abyss Watchers area. So there we go. As I said, either have some Undead Hunter Charms on you and try and prevent him from healing, or just be really aggressive in the fight as much as you can be. That's probably the best tips I can give you for the Hawkwood fight. Wait for him to attack, get you a couple of right bumper hits on him, and be a bit more aggressive than you might normally be. So I shouldn't really have my Great Shield equipped for this fight, but I was ready for the Nameless King fight. So again, just wait for him to finish his combos, and then you can get some hits in. 2 right bumpers, get back, wait for an attack, and then you should get a chance to get a couple more. Again, try and press him, so you can see I'm not letting it too far away because he'll try and heal. Got to learn that spacing. Oh. Okay, we're going to have to get back and heal. So, we'll accept a heal from him if he does it. There we go.
You are
So that gives you all the dragon equipment, and now we can go back to Great Belfry and we'll take on Nameless King there. Now again, Nameless King, I would recommend Charcoal Punch. Whoa, we almost fell. Pull the lever. Nameless King, I'd recommend charcoal pine resin for the actual king himself, which is the second phase, but you'd want to use lightning for the first phase. I'm not worried too much about demonstrating all that. I'd rather get the techniques down than worry too much about resins, so that's why I've got the Black Knight sword I'm going to be using, just because it's quite effective in dealing damage and means you don't have to worry too much about resins because it can't be buffed. Alright, so at the start of the fight you want to run up towards him and then roll, get ready for whatever attacks he's going to throw out. He's probably just those slashing left-right attacks. If you fly, throw lightning, so as he goes to release the lightning bolts, you got to get ready to roll. I was slightly off in my timing. Try and roll to the left past that attack when he comes down. Running attacks in the head can be useful, but you've got to time. It's all about timing. So with the great sword, it's 1 to 2 hits on the head. We'll probably get about 3 hits on the head here. Oh no, only managed 2. And then you want to roll back, just because he's going to do those 2 attacks. And if you can time those attacks right, you can get another couple of hits on the head after them. So this phase is about dodging. You just got to be rolling decently. Next phase is about trusting your great shield, and I'll demonstrate how much you need to really trust that great shield. If you get enough hits on the head, you can stagger him, and then you can press right bumper again for a riposte, and that's going to get us into the second phase. Okay, in this phase, trust your great shield completely. So I'm just going to let him attack me. I'm going to hold that great shield up, and when he lets up is when I'm going to release left bumper. And you can see he's hardly dealing any damage to me. But you've got to watch that stamina. So I wouldn't even do any dodging. If you're going to use a great shield, you just trust that great shield. And then just make sure you're releasing left bumper in between his attacks. And again, you don't even really have to run. You just have to literally be pressing left bumper at the right times. Wait for a gap in his attacks before you attack. You see that's too risky. And just keep strafing around him. That one you're going to have to roll. It's only ones where he does like a massive charge like that you've actually got to roll. But most attacks you can just hold your great shield up, and it'll tank those hits. And again, if you can strafe that, it just saves a bit of stamina. Try and only hit when you're behind him and when he gives an opening. And just step back a little bit when he does that spinning attack, just because sometimes he can actually get past your great shield if you're not back far enough. Just watch that stamina. As long as you've got stamina, you can trust that great shield. Don't have to worry too much about taking damage. I find this is the way that you don't have to think as much about the nameless fight. If you're having to roll, you're having to be constantly on guard, constantly thinking, what attack is he going to throw out? Whereas this method, even that attack that he does, where he sort of seems to buff his blade and then pull down the lightning, you don't even have to worry about it. You just literally have to hold up your shield. That one you have to roll. That's one of the few that you do have to roll for. Get behind him when he throws that lightning stake, gives you a chance for at least 1 hit. But again, you don't want to take much more than 1 hit on Nameless at any point, because he is just crazy with his attacks. He will just throw out so many at you that you really don't get a chance for much more than that. Try and get behind him again for any of those slam attacks, and be ready to hold up your shield as soon as you've attacked. Being a bit cheeky there, 2 attacks, but I could see he was getting lower on health. And again, you can get those extra souls if you do decide to just change to the Shield of Want and Symbol of Avarice just between clips. And then you'll get teleported here back to that area that I was showing you before. So you'll notice as we come here, if I look behind me, it's the gate that was down before should now be open. And there's a bonfire there as well. So you can see that was the gate that was locked before. We got the ember right here. And now it's open for you. Alright, we're gonna change back to our normal knight outfit. Feel a bit more comfortable in that. And then if you keep running forward, you can get the Titanite slab, and you can get the Dragon Slayer gear, and then we picked up that Dragon Slayer spear before. So at the end of this passageway is where that Dragon Slayer spear was. You can see the gates now raised as well. So that leads back into the Dragonkin Mausoleum area. And that's it for Archdragon Peak. Thank you guys for watching. Hope it was useful, and we'll see you in the next video, where we'll be doing Ariandel.